beneath the relentless sun of modern Pakistan, lies a secret buried for 4,000 years. A story of a civilization so immense, its disappearance seems impossible. For millennia, it was known only as the Mound of the Dead. Then, in the 1920s, a team of archaeologists arrived, looking for something else entirely. They began to dig, peeling back the layers of time, one shovelful at a time. And what they found would not just rewrite history, it would reveal a chapter thought never to have been written. This was no simple settlement. Beneath their feet lay a city, an ancient metropolis, laid out with an engineer's precision. This was Mohenjo-Daro, a ghost city of the Indus Valley civilization. A power that rivaled ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia in its scale and sophistication. Home to tens of thousands, it was the hub of a culture that numbered in the millions. Their domain stretched across an area larger than Western Europe. But it was the planning of their cities that truly set them apart. They had the world's first known urban sanitation systems. Almost every house had its own private bathing area and toilet. And at the city's heart, the magnificent Great Bath, a marvel of ancient waterproofing. Yet, for all their genius, these people simply vanished. Around 1900 BCE, the great cities fell silent. The streets, once bustling, became empty. There are no signs of a great conflict, no layers of ash from a citywide fire. So how does a civilization of 5 million people just disappear? The answer may lie with their greatest enigma, their writing. Thousands of artifacts have been found bearing this elegant, unreadable script. It's a language lost to time, a history locked away without a key. To understand how they fell, we must first appreciate what they built. For nearly a millennium, theirs was a world of unparalleled order and prosperity. Their cities were masterpieces of urban planning, built on a colossal scale. They mass-produced standardized bricks, with the very same dimensions used across hundreds of miles. This suggests a powerful central authority, or a shared system of knowledge we can barely comprehend. Their society was built on trade and craftsmanship, not conquest. And to govern that trade, they developed a stunningly precise system of weights and measures. These cubical weights, based on a complex binary and decimal system, were consistent across the entire civilization. This ensured fair trade, a cornerstone of their economic stability. Their reach was enormous, their trade routes legendary. They traded in cotton, timber, and precious materials, like lapis lazuli from the mountains of Afghanistan. Indus seals have been found as far away as modern-day Iraq, a testament to their global network. These seals likely acted as stamps, a form of signature to mark goods and property. The remarkable aspect of this society is the absence of certain distinctions found in other cultures. Archaeologists have found no grand palaces for powerful kings. No lavish royal tombs filled with gold for a pharaoh's afterlife. And, perhaps most strangely, no monumental temples dedicated to all-powerful gods. There's also a distinct lack of heavy fortifications or weapons of war. It suggests a different model of civilization, perhaps governed by committees of merchants or priests. A peaceful, orderly, and seemingly egalitarian society. A Bronze Age utopia. And yet, this perfect system was not destined to last. In the later layers of the cities, the first subtle signs of decay begin to appear. The meticulous urban planning starts to break down. Large, single-family homes were subdivided into smaller, cramped tenements. The once wide streets were encroached upon by crude pottery kilns, built right in the public way. So, what could possibly bring a civilization so meticulously planned and prosperous to its knees? For decades, historians have debated the cause of this great decline. An early theory suggested a violent invasion. The so-called Aryan invasion, the Pasi, a hypothesis proposed by early 20th century archaeologists. But the evidence for a large-scale conflict simply isn't there. The few remains showing trauma are not enough to account for the collapse of an entire civilization. So, investigators turn to other culprits, the very earth beneath their feet. Could massive earthquakes have disrupted the delicate balance of the river systems? A change in a river's course could have choked off the water supply to a major city. Or perhaps their vital trade networks with Mesopotamia collapsed, crippling their economy. Each theory holds a piece of the puzzle, but none seem to explain the sheer scale of the abandonment. But in recent years, a new and powerful suspect has emerged, one written in the sky and the soil. The culprit: catastrophic, long-term climate change. The Indus Valley people depended on a mighty, monsoon-fed river system for their survival. One river, in particular, was their lifeblood, the Ghaggar Hakra, believed to be the legendary Saraswati. But around 4,000 years ago, the reliable monsoons that fed this river began to shift. The rains became weaker, more erratic. The once predictable floods failed to arrive. Over centuries, the mighty Saraswati began to shrink. It dwindled from a snow-fed giant to a seasonal stream, and then to nothing. Today, satellite imagery clearly shows the ghost of this lost river, a pale scar across the desert. And archaeology confirms it. The largest concentration of Harappan cities was built along this now dry channel. As the river vanished, the people were forced to move. This wasn't a sudden event. It was a slow, creeping transformation over generations. They began a mass migration eastward, towards the more reliable rainfall of the Ganges plain. They abandoned their great cities and founded smaller, more rural villages. The intricate urban society, with its trade and specialized crafts, could not be sustained. The standardized weights, the elegant script, the civic planning. it all faded away. The Indus Valley civilization didn't vanish in a flash. It slowly dissolved. The evidence for climate change is now overwhelming. The case, for many, is closed. But with the evidence laid out, a new, more poignant question emerges. Without their writings, can we ever truly know the human story of this collapse? What did they think as their fields turned to dust and their world slowly withered away? What prayers did they offer? What desperate measures did they take? Their silence is the most haunting part of the mystery. And yet, they did not disappear entirely. They left echoes behind. A kind of cultural DNA that would profoundly shape the future of the Indian subcontinent. This is the ghost of the Indus, a presence that still haunts the modern world. The most significant clues to their legacy are found in their mysterious belief artifacts. These figures, found in nearly every Harappan home, suggest a focus on fertility and life. Animals also played a powerful role in their iconography, especially the bull. And, most famously, a creature that looks for all the world like a mythical unicorn. But one seal, above all others, has sparked intense debate. It depicts a seated figure, crowned with horns, surrounded by animals. He is seen by many as a proto-Shiva, an early depiction of one of Hinduism's principal deities. The figure's posture is reminiscent of a yogic pose, suggesting deep roots for this ancient practice. If this connection is real, it represents a profound, direct link from the Indus Valley to modern Hinduism. The theory is controversial, but the resemblance is undeniable. The iconography is too similar to ignore. Perhaps, but we lack definitive proof. The echoes don't stop there. They can be found in everyday life. We see it in pottery traditions, with certain motifs and shapes echoing through millennia. Designs for jewelry, especially the stacked bangles worn by women, are remarkably consistent. Even their leisure activities may have survived. Terracotta boards found at Mohenjo-Daro resemble an early form of chess. These aren't mere coincidences. They are signs of deep, unbroken cultural roots stretching back 5,000 years. But beyond these cultural whispers, the Indus leaves us with a much starker, more urgent message. Their story is one of humanity's great cautionary tales, written not in ink, but in dust and clay. They were masters of water management, building a civilization on the banks of mighty, life-giving rivers. They thrived until that water, the very source of their prosperity, began to vanish. It's a chilling lesson on the fragility of even the most sophisticated society when faced with environmental change. So, let us retrace our steps on this incredible journey through time. A journey that began just a century ago, with a forgotten mound of earth in a vast, arid plain. A place known to locals by an ominous name, Mohenjo-Daro, the Mound of the Dead. From that mound, an entire civilization was reborn into history. A society of meticulous builders, merchants, and innovators on a scale previously unimaginable, who engineered cities with a geometric precision that would not be seen again for thousands of years, who established trade networks that stretched all the way to the great ziggurats of Mesopotamia, and who, most remarkably, created a seemingly peaceful and egalitarian society for millions. And yet, for all that we have uncovered, we remain outsiders, peering through a keyhole into their world. Because the people of the Indus, the Harappans themselves, are utterly silent. Their world was not ended by a great battle, but by the slow, relentless creep of a changing climate. A world that gradually turned their fertile river plains into a desolate, dusty landscape, forcing them to abandon the magnificent cities they had so carefully built. A long goodbye that stretched over centuries, leaving behind only ghosts and unanswered questions. But the key to unlocking their world, to hearing their voice, lies hidden in plain sight. In these tiny, elegant symbols, carved with incredible skill onto stone, copper, and clay. The Indus script is one of the last great, unsolved puzzles of the ancient world. We find it everywhere, on personal seals likely used for trade, and on pottery marking ownership. Over 400 unique signs have been identified, forming a complex and beautiful written language. And yet, after a century of study, not a single word can be read with any certainty. For the Indus, there is no Rosetta Stone, no convenient translation to pry open its secrets. No bilingual text has ever been found linking it to a known language like Sumerian or Akkadian. For decades, the world's best minds have attempted to crack the code, with little success. They've compared it to every known language family, from Dravidian to Indo-European, but nothing fits perfectly. The script of the Indus Valley appears, for now, to be utterly unique. But today, the quest has entered a new era, armed with the power of the 21st century. Artificial intelligence is now being deployed to analyze the patterns hidden within the symbols. Computers hunt for grammar, for structure, for the faint ghost of a syntax. It is a painstaking, digital search for a human voice that fell silent 4,000 years ago. But if we could finally hear that voice, what would it tell us? Would it speak of mighty kings and queens, or confirm the theory of rule by committee? Would it tell us the myths and legends behind their enigmatic art and animal figures? Would we finally learn of their cosmology, their gods, and their deepest spiritual beliefs? Would we, at long last, learn the names of the individuals who lived, worked, and dreamt in these cities? All of these answers, the very soul of this culture, remain tantalizingly out of reach. Locked away inside these beautiful, silent, and stubborn symbols. And so, we are left to read their story, not in their words, but in the things they left behind. We read it in the mathematical perfection of their kiln-fired bricks. In the astonishing precision of their standardized weights and measures. And we read it in the subtle elegance and enduring mystery of their art. This physical evidence tells us, in remarkable detail, how they lived. But it can never truly tell us why. It can never reveal their thoughts. The Indus Valley civilization stands as a profound testament to what humanity can achieve. A testament to ingenuity, to cooperation, and to the ambition to build a better world. But it is also a humbling and deeply unsettling reminder. A reminder that entire chapters of the human story can be written and lived by millions of people over countless generations. And then, almost completely, be erased from the pages of history. Their script is their final, unreadable riddle. A message in a bottle we cannot open. A silent monument to a magnificent world, built by genius and buried by time. But to say it was buried by time is not the entire story. Because for a new generation of historians and scientists, the work has only just begun. The key to unlocking the Indus Valley is no longer sought with a trowel and brush alone. Today, the hunt takes place here, inside the quiet hum of a powerful machine. This is the digital frontier in the quest to decipher the unreadable, computational linguistics. Researchers are now deploying artificial intelligence to do what the human eye alone cannot. To see the hidden patterns, the statistical ghosts lurking within the language. And this is a truly global effort, a relay race across continents and time zones. They share databases containing every known inscription, a library of ghosts. But the central problem remains as daunting as it was a century ago. The Indus civilization left us no Rosetta Stone, no bilingual key to unlock their words. We only have their language in their language, a monologue we have walked in on, halfway through. What's more, the inscriptions we have are frustratingly short. Most are found on seals, likely containing little more than names or titles. There are no grand tales of kings, no lengthy prayers to the gods, no marketplace ledgers. The script appears to be a linguistic isolate, a language with no known relatives. It's the ultimate cold case. No witnesses, no confessions, and a code nobody can crack. And yet, even in this silence, small whispers of understanding are beginning to emerge. Through careful analysis, we are almost certain we know which way it was written. Look closely, and you can see how the final symbol on the left is often cramped for space. Statistical analysis reveals more. Certain signs prefer to begin a text. Whoa. This is the beginning of grammar, the faint structural skeleton of a long-dead tongue. And there is a tantalizing theory about its potential living relatives. The Dravidian family of languages, spoken today by hundreds of millions of people. Could the words spoken here be the distant great-grandchildren of the Harappan language? Scholars are testing this link, treating the script like a giant rebus puzzle. The word min also meant star, offering a possible reading for a fish symbol. It is a single, speculative step on a journey of 1,000 miles. For every theory, there are a dozen counter-arguments. The debate is fierce and passionate, but the prize they are all chasing is one of the greatest in human history. to give a voice back to millions of people who have been silent for 4 millennia. To finally hear their story, not as we interpret it, but in their own words. We could learn their names, the titles of their leaders, the professions of their citizens. We might discover the names of their gods, the verses of their hymns, the stories they told their children. Perhaps we might even find a record of their final days, a chronicle of the Great Drying, a message left for the future, describing a world that was changing too fast. For now, that remains a dream. And so, the meticulous work continues, day by day. Each symbol catalogued, each fragment analyzed, each statistical run a potential step closer. Because what they are searching for is more than just a translation. It is a human connection, a bridge across the immense, silent chasm of deep time. The legacy of the Indus Valley is not one of failure, but of profound endurance. They laid a cultural foundation stone upon which later civilizations would be built. And they left us a warning that echoes louder today than ever before. That even the most sophisticated societies are fragile, their fates tied to the world around them. Perhaps we don't need to read their script to understand their most important lesson. Their story, in the end, is a story about us, written in a language we all understand. But the promise of their own voice still awaits, locked in these elegant, mysterious forms, waiting for the right key, the right mind, or the right machine to turn the lock. A discovery that could come tomorrow, or in another 100 years. A discovery that will write the next great chapter in the story of this lost world. And when that day comes, the silence that has haunted these ruins for 4,000 years will finally be broken, and their story will be buried no more. Subscribe to this channel for more untold stories of history, progress, and power.